coming up on At Your Leisure.
Hi, I'm Rhea Rossi Booth.
And I'm Chad Booth, and we are going to kick up a little nostalgia today and recap 2 decades of At Your Leisure.
And I'm Ray Stein. Coming up, the newest draw at Antelope Island.
And I'm Will Oxley. We're headed back to Range Valley Ranch to see the progress on the lodge.
Wow, what a trip down memory lane. Hi everybody, welcome to At Your Leisure today. I'm Chad Booth, and I'm on my way to meet Rhea at the campground. And just pulled off in this little side spot. Decided, because side-by-sides are street legal, or can be now, I was just gonna skip the trailer and drive the machine right to camp. You know, a lot's changed since we started At Your Leisure back in 2002. One thing, side-by-sides didn't exist. We were a year away from the Yamaha Rhino being introduced to the marketplace. This was not a part of Wasatch State Park. And it was just a little pond off of a side road way back in Forest Service land. Okay, a lot of other things have changed. One, I couldn't drive this to the campground because ATVs weren't street legal at the time. And so you couldn't ride them on the roads. And in addition, the development of riding areas, camping areas had very limited funding because dedicated funds hadn't been set up, and now they are. So Utah has become an outdoor recreation mecca, not just for non-motorized, but for motorized as well, and we have documented that entire history. So why don't we take a little stroll down memory lane and look back at all the things that have changed in 2 decades of AYL.
If the 450 holds up to its reputation, this power ought to be incredible.
Our review today is the new Honda 500 Rubicon. You can actually shift this thing 2 different ways.
We're talking about the 700 Polaris Sportsman twin-cylinder engine.
I don't know if it's part Jeep, part ATV. It's looked like they kind of smashed them together and created an all-new type of all-terrain vehicle. Hi, I'm Darren Kinder, and our review today is the new Yamaha Rhino 660.
And welcome to the bad boy of waiting lists.
We've got the all-new Polaris 900 Razor. We gotta go drive it. We'll see you later.
Woo!
I'm Kurt with Slick Rock Productions, and today we're gonna do a complete review on the new Polaris Expedition and give you all the details.
Snow Canyon is located about 10 miles north of St. George, where you'll find Navajo sandstone of the red and white variety.
I'm Jill Kinder.
And I'm Darren Kinder, and right behind us is Mount Rushmore.
I'm Stephen Heumann.
And I'm Alicia Staten. We, right now, are getting ready for some land adventure.
And I'm Rhea Rossi Booth.
And I'm Corey Toon.
And we right now are at Jordanelle Reservoir.
Welcome to At Your Leisure. At Your Leisure, we are the Johnson family, and we are so excited to be here.
You know, it's fun to stroll down memory lane and think about the good old days and how cool everything was. Really excited about the future because we have so many technological advances that have entirely changed the sport. And we'll look at those a little bit later, but most importantly, all the wonderful places we've been. Utah has exploded as a destination. Right now, it's time for us to go on to our first story of the week.
I'm Ray Stein at your leisure at Antelope Island State Park for the unveiling of the park's newest attraction.
Why an archery range at Antelope Island? So there's a lot already going on at Antelope Island. We've got hiking, mountain biking, horseback riding. So it's just another opportunity to add an additional recreation opportunity for the public.
Wendy Wilson is assistant manager of Antelope Island State Park and an enthusiastic supporter of the new archery layout.
So archery is definitely growing in Utah. A lot of other parks have put in archery range in the past. Some are smaller, some may. I don't think anything is as big as we've got out here actually at Antelope Island. So we've got from 20 yards up to 100-yard ranges. as well as a 3D walking range. So we've got a lot of opportunities for a lot of different people. So just beginners who can just come out and want to try something, to the folks who are actually, professionals wanting to sight in their bows. Maybe they bought a new bow and they want to kind of give it a try and see how it works.
The 20-some targets are a product of Peyton Hamilton's Eagle Scout project.
The reason why I did it because I wanted something that could last so that I could go here when I have kids and say, I did this as my Eagle Scout project.
You say it's buffalo proof?
Yep.
A good thing, since the island is home to hundreds of potentially target lethal critters. The island also has some of the state's magnificent trophy deer and the island's namesake, christened by John C. Fremont in 1845. The island boasts the highest peak on the Great Salt Lake, 6,600-foot Prairie Peak, a popular hike. And now the newest draw.
I see an additional level of new visitors coming to the island because of archery.
The range also features a lifelike walking course, a real plus.
Because it gives them a real life experience, particularly if you go down onto the walking trail part of the range, because you're shooting uphill, you're shooting downhill, you got crosswinds, and that is very challenging and can test you for sure.
The range is open during park hours with no reservations or additional fees. The park doesn't have archery equipment, you'll have to bring your own, but there is a restroom at the range. And officials remind archers that only the stationary targets are fair game.
So there are definitely wildlife. We've got bison, mule deer, pronghorn. Those aren't up for shooting, of course, so just the targets that we've got in the archery range.
Reese Stein at your leisure with this week's Where To adventure at Antelope Island State Park.
The first thing you notice is the colors. Blue sky contrasting against red horizon. Blanding Utah. The world goes on forever out here. There's nothing stopping you. In Blanding, you can ride right from downtown on Recapture Rim Trail, discovering the heritage of the West without limits or boundaries. Don't be held back. Join us in a land of true freedom. Blanding. More to be explored.
Wondering where your next OHV adventure will take you? Outsiders Utah has your answer with downloadable GPS routes, ride times, distance, local amenities, and other details. 360 street views of the trails that let you explore before you go, and more. Eliminate the guesswork and uncertainty and find a trail you'll love. Visit outsidersutah.com and see the trail before you ride the trail.
There's no time for small talk. So let's cut to the chase. Your chase. To turn your to-do list to dust and jobs into accomplishments. But this means you gotta go big. Big hauls and bigger tows. To get it done early enough for some big adventure. Because doing it all with time to spare is no small feat.
Places like the San Rafael Swell are famous for a reason. Endless riding opportunities, history that reaches back millennia. Sites you never knew existed. All it needs is one central location where you can easily visit it all. That place is Farron, Utah. Sleep comfortably, dine in, and ride directly from your hotel or campsite. Experience the San Rafael Swell. Experience Farron.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We are in the city now at the state capitol. A lot of people wonder what the connection is on an outdoor show with this building. Well, it's actually, over our history, been a very big deal. Now, when we started At Your Leisure, a lot of people don't realize that this show began because of the off-road industry. The dealers and some of the local agencies asked us to start this show. And so we started producing a program so that we could get the right message out about off-road recreation of all kinds and that we could dispel some of the myths and the rumors and set the standards for how people should be recreating. And that's exactly how we got started with our program. Over the course of years, of course, there have been big issues that have challenged our right to access public land. Not just on the land, there's been challenges on personal watercraft at Lake Powell. There have been challenges against dispersed camping in places like the San Rafael Swell, as well as road closures. Like 2 years after we started, the entire basis of off-road recreation changed. Originally, it was you could travel wherever you wanted unless it was otherwise designated to route only. And in 2002, that changed, is you can only travel on designated routes unless otherwise specified. And that made a seismic shift in land access and started a land review process that led to closure to hundreds of thousands of miles of roads and trails around the state. And that's one of the first areas we picked up was RS 2477. Because the federal government had closed so many trails and were proposing to close off so many trails, some of the commissioners in Kane County decided to stand up to that and go fight that and pull up the government sign and assert their rights on RS 2477. Needless to say, somebody had to stand up and make a public voice for this issue so that people could become aware of it. And we started, and we have been that voice. Then, of course, on top of that, there was the Take Back Utah movement, where there were massive attempts to create wilderness area, federally protected areas on areas that had no real value of any significant kind. And with those broad sweeping brushes, there started a movement, and we were key in doing it. In fact, the very first Take Back Utah rally was held right here at the Capitol, and 5,000 people got on their ATVs and came up here in a protest for the encroachment of federal rights on public lands in Utah. And that led the legislature and the governor to be bold enough to take action. And it created House Bill 148, which demanded the transfer of public lands back to Utah. And while there hasn't been much talk about that lately, it is still in progress. More recently, court cases have thrown back the travel management plans and has caused all 8 field offices of the BLM to restudy and redesignate their travel plans. It's starting to show itself as these travel plans come up. And we need, going in the future, to stay ahead of this. Otherwise, adventure bikes, side-by-sides, ATVs, Jeeps, and even people who are doing adventure camping are going to potentially lose a lot of access to public land. So there's a purpose for us to be here, to fight the travel management plans, to make sure we support the state, and to be that voice for the community, and that's where At Your Leisure has really helped. So enough of the politics, let's go find out some more of the fun in the history of AYL.
Where do you start your day when there are endless opportunities to explore? In Richfield, we'll set you on the right track with the Paiute ATV Trail right on our doorstep. Head into the Tusher Mountains and taste the crisp mountain air. Explore desert landscapes that echo voices from the past. Richfield, the heart of Utah Trail Country.
Join us on AYL 24/7 with early access to commercial-free episodes, detailed trip itineraries, a look behind the scenes, group discussions and forums, profile and account customization, individual segments, and a nostalgic trip to classic episodes. We want our viewers to get the show they want to see when they want to see it. It's all the viewing you've grown to love and more. Sign up now at AYLTV.com.
Before you pack the car,
Before you plan the route, make sure your vacation
be the one you always dreamed of.
With a pre-trip visit to Tunex.
Locally owned,
regionally connected.
Tunex can get you on the road
and keep you there.
No matter where you travel in Utah.
From timing belts to oil changes,
transmission service or new brakes,
a towing upgrade or even a tune-up,
we have the certified technicians
to do the job right. There's a Tunex near you.
Find it at tunex.com.
This is what it sounds like when quality speaks for itself. The Honda Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew with class-leading comfort for 6. Tough, reliable, capable. Part of the 2023 Honda Pioneer lineup. Enough said.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure. We're just kind of taking stock of 21 years of doing this show. And you know, one of the things people tell us is the most important thing for them to watch our show is to see the new places we go and the new things that we do. And sometimes people say, well, what's your favorite? Well, I have my personal favorites. Corby and the kids, when they were growing up, they were Goblin Valley or Lake Powell. And Rhea, she just loves to travel. So any way you look at it, we've had different things to do. Let's find out what some of the highlights are right now.
The Barracks Trail goes all the way from right almost to the Arizona border to, it comes clear along the edge of where you can look down into Zion and then drops off into a real sandy area down into the Virgin River and then comes out at Mount Carmel. It's a beautiful ride. It has its hard spots and it has its easy spots where you can be tested a little bit on your machines.
Well, it's one of the masterpieces of Utah. I mean, this loop from Torrey go around to Boulder Mountain on Highway 12, you know, it's just a gorgeous piece of highway. The scenery, you know, from this low desert, what you're in now, and then we get up there to the high mountains and into the quakes and pines. No, it's just an incredible piece of real estate.
Navajo Lake Lodge here, opened back in 1927. Great fishing. You'll see 100 kayakers out there, paddle boards. Water's amazingly crystal clear. It's just a chill lake.
We're ready to shove off and roll down the river. Let's find out what rafting in Costa Rica is like.
We're at a place called Maple Grove between Scipio and Salina, about halfway in between the two towns.
Yeah.
Really cool little campsite. You wouldn't want to come here because it's too nice. We come down here 3 or 4 times a year probably. It's just a piece of heaven.
My aunt and uncle are originally the ones that invited me out here. Very first time in Moab. This is my 3rd trail overall. Went on a trail ride with my brother actually and one of my cousins, and that was it. I was hooked. You know, got the off-road bug and had to scratch my own itch and buy my own Jeep. So
this place, it's the beginning of Cataract Canyon, and it's life-changing. It truly is. The first experience, make you come back for more. If you're into big whitewater and exciting thrills, this is it. The canyon next down, you have 2 rivers coming together, a lot of water in a very small space. So lots of compression, a lot of big waves.
Well, no matter which way you turn, there's always something exciting. What will the future hold? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit in just a minute. Now, which way do I go to the campground? It's got to be this way.
From a once overgrown thicket of trees and choking undergrowth, Mike Siaperas has transformed his corner of Utah into a place to be enjoyed by man and nature. His inspired techniques have brought water and wildlife back to Range Valley Ranch in an unprecedented way. He's creating a space for veterans and children to come and enjoy life in the outdoors at 10,000 feet. One of the last pieces of the puzzle is the construction of an incredible lodge.
Let's go back to maybe why this thing started in the first place. I host a Stronghold program from the Best Defense Foundation, which Donnie and Catherine Edwards run. And the Stronghold program is where they bring in special forces to bring them back into civilian life. I had the first one 3 years ago now. I think it was during that time that I got a chance to know a lot of these military people and was moved. So that's kind of what started this lodge, is a lodge that was a place where veterans can come to heal and obviously come with their families and understand there's people out there that really care about them.
The final framing and woodwork are starting to reveal the unique character of this mountain getaway.
We're doing almost all the wood. So anything to do with wood, pretty much, we'll do that here. And then there'll be other trades in to do the electrical and the plumbing, all that stuff.
Yeah, we're just doing all the framing. Some of these logs we took out of the forest, filled them, carved them. Lots of them are milled from the log plant. Yeah, I've been doing logs for about 18 years, so I've done every kind you can imagine, and every log home is different, but it's a lot of fun. It's something I really enjoy, take a lot of pride in it.
Huge undertaking. Most people that see the lodge say it's typically a 2 to 3 year project. We're going to do it in about 10 months work time.
Every timber, every joint, every cut are on display for all to see. They don't just cover everything with drywall and plaster. They are truly artists who use the grain of the wood to paint their masterpieces.
It's huge, it's custom, and a lot of carving.
We enjoy making logs fit together. Scribing is just when you take a log and you figure your angles and hollow the log out and make it slide together and fit tight. And you can scribe to a log or a square angle, really anything you're trying to attach a log to with a tight joint or to scribe it in.
I like cutting, running chainsaws, and stacking logs is fun, building that. Try to make it look good, and it takes time and it's a lot of messing around sometimes, but yeah, I like doing that.
The roof was the complicated part, all the log purlins and stuff that we had to put in, which looks really awesome, but it's a lot of doing.
Obviously, it's an undertaking at 10,000 feet, but I've got a crew that's just amazing. They never say no. They work all the time to get it done, but they also know the meaning of it, too. This isn't just us building a log cabin. This will be around for a long time because part of my plan is to have this donated to the nonprofit, which I started, the Atlantis USA Foundation, so that we can write the rules, write the bylaws for what that ranch is going to be used for forever.
It's a lot of handwork, and we got hand-peeled logs for the stairs and the out front.
All the notches except for the corner we had to make. We carved everything. So this job's really unique, and Mike will let us kind of use our imagination and use our ideas, and he just lets us go on it, and it's been really fun to be able to do different things and just let us have at it. It's pretty cool. Some people will like to get, what do we recommend or what do we think look nice, but Mike's been a lot of extra on that. Just like, if we say it's cool, then let's do it. And so it's pretty cool to have him trust us that way, and it's been a lot of fun. You're only limited by your imagination, really.
The astounding pace at which the lodge was built is nothing short of extraordinary. It will be finished right on time for the next Stronghold event on September 11th, and it will benefit veterans and their families for years to come.
Stedman's. Ride hard, play hard.
Sometimes you just gotta play dirty, and dirt has been the Stedman's family playground for 50 years. Come jump on or into your new side-by-side, ATV or dirt bike, and make your own trail with Stedman's in Tooele, your dealer for sales, service, and accessories. Looking for road bikes or e-bikes? We have those too. Go online or come in today and see the Stedman's family and check out their incredible line from only the best: Yamaha, Honda, Polaris, and Beta.
You might think it's 300 miles out here, but remember, it's only 30 miles back.
At Your Leisure has a long-standing reputation and a large, loyal audience of adventurers in the outdoors. Although we're excited to continue to grow and enjoy the shared success of our longtime sponsors, we have space for more. And if you have a brand that would benefit from the 2 decades of goodwill that we've built, contact us at AYLTV.com and let us amplify your voice above the competition.
When you're ready for adventure, fuel your machine with Clear 91. fuel for performance, fuel for adventure, and fuel for the long haul. Ethanol-free, 91 octane. Fill up with Clear 91. Only available at Eagles Landing. With you for the long haul.
Hey AYL fans, it's time again for the Red, White, and Road 9/11 Memorial Ride. Brought to you by AYL and Stedman's Recreation. Ride the most scenic road in the country, Highway 12. Lunch will be held at the beautiful Kodachrome Basin State Park, and a barbecue dinner will end the day back in Torrey. Sign up now at the AYLTV.com events page. Registration is limited to only 50 bikes, so sign up today, and we'll see you on the Red, White, and Road.
Welcome back to At Your Leisure, everybody. We're out here camping in Utah, and where have you been? And thank you.
There you go. Now,
It took you so long.
Well, the store's that way, the shortcut's that way. I had to take the shortcut.
I know, and you just get in that thing and you just go, go, go.
You know, we've been doing it for 22 years.
Amazing.
And there's adventure around every bend. I had so many more adventures than that I just driven over to the store. Anyway, why don't you take a look at next week's show?
Next week, Kurt Miles and Jake Anderson from Slick Rock Productions are joining up with our own Brett Hermanson to take a test drive and show you all the ins and outs of the brand new Polaris Expeditions.
Then Will Oxley teams up with Dig Paddle Sports, and he's getting a one-of-a-kind petroglyph tour that can only be accessed from the water. Where? Well, you'll find out.
And finally, we're getting out the bikes in support of a great cause as we join the Ride to Prevent Suicide, which features a beautiful ride and poker run through the Wasatch Mountains.
Now, let's take a look at this week's sticker contest winner. This week's contest winner was submitted to us on Facebook by Jerome Florkey. I hope I said that right, Jerome. And it looks like he is the lucky winner of a Clearly Tough windshield for his rig.
Clearly Tough offers the strongest windshields on the market. Visit clearlytough.com for more details, and congrats, Jerome Florkey.
Yes, be sure to call us on Monday at 801-947-8888 to claim your prize. Now, let's take a look at the upcoming calendar of events.
First up on September 9th in Torrey, Utah is the AYL and Stedman's Recreation annual Red, White, and Road motorcycle ride. Registration is limited to 50 bikes, so sign up now before it's too late.
Then, September 13th through the 16th is the San Juan ATV Safari in Monticello, Utah. Now, this spectacular OHV destination features 18 map trails with beauty and history throughout. It's unparalleled as an OHV trail. Be sure to check it out.
You know, Chad, it's been an amazing 22 years.
Yeah, you know, in 2 decades, we've been practically everywhere and seen practically everything.
I mean, the West is just like been literally our backyard.
That's true, and maybe it's time to pass the baton on to a new generation.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it is. And then now we can like kick back, put our feet up, and then we can watch the show.
There you have it. So if you're interested in investing in a new adventure, we got an opportunity for you. Just get in touch with us, and just remember, there's adventure around every bend.
You just got to get yourselves out there and create your own adventure
at your leisure. We usually have a crowd for that.
I know, everybody goes, woo!